Hey, hi friends, very good morning to everyone. So, yesterday we were seeing about some scenarios with respect to the pluggable database, like how to create the pluggable database and how we can create the users. And then we have seen some scenarios like how to stop a particular pluggable database and how to clone a particular pluggable database, all those things. So today we are going to see one more important scenario, that is unplugging a pluggable database from one container and then plugging that into another container. And this would be especially help in case of patching. So as I was saying the other day, so the advantage of having unplug and plug is you can have a container database with the latest patch, and you can just move your pluggable databases to that latest container database which is having a patch. So the steps are pretty simple, just like how you are cloning a another pluggable database from the existing one. Sorry. So you are going to follow the same way over here as well. So first, we are going to shut down the pluggable database. Then we are going to take that particular information into an XML file with the help of this command. And third, we are going to drop that pluggable database from the first container, and then we are connecting to the second container database, and then we are performing some other actions. So let us go ahead and see those things. So first I'm connecting to the container database. So I'm checking the status of pluggable databases. So all the pluggable databases are still in mount state. So we know we have a simple command to open all the pluggable databases in a single shot. Okay, so all the other pluggable databases were open normally, uh, and but we have another pluggable database, that is pluggable DB4. So which you remember we are converting. This is a non-container database, and we have converted that into the pluggable database yesterday. So that one is showing that it is performing the restricted sessions. That means no users will be able to connect. So we can disable that restricted session by just connecting to that pluggable. Okay, so might be yesterday there could be some error or something. So anyway, that's fine. So now what we will do, we have one pluggable database by the name plugdb3. So we will move this database from this container database to another container database. So first what I will do, I will create one empty container database. So I'm taking the help of dbca. So here I'm using the container database name as condb2. Then here I just mention the option create an empty container database. Okay, so we have this container created. Now let us go and perform the steps. So first is to close the pluggable database. So as I said, I am going to take away this plug db3. So first I am closing that. Okay. Actually, I just switch it to plug db4 container. So I need to switch back to the root container. Then checking the status. Yes, it came down to mount state. So we are taking the information. So we are taking the information of this pluggable database into an XML file with the help of this command. Then we are going to drop that pluggable database. So it will be no more listed from your show PDBs command. So now you are going to connect to the second container database, that is condb2, and here we have created the empty container database. So apart from pdb $seed, you won't find any other PDBs created. So here we are going to execute the compatibility check, which we did like yesterday. Okay, just a moment. So the file names are case sensitive. So it is saying yes, there is no problem in plugging out this database. Then you are going to use a simple command like this: create pluggable database so and so. And also it is not mandatory that you might need to go for the same name. You might go with a different name as well here. Then we are saying using this particular XML file, and we are saying no copy and then temp file reuse. What is mean by this no copy? Our data files are there in the same database, so that is the reason we are not copying any data files here. So that's why we are saying here no copy. And also we are saying reuse the existing temp files instead of creating a new one. So that's the meaning of this particular command. Okay, I got it. So this one, by mistakenly in one of the above commands, we have dropped the pluggable database including data files. So when you issue this command including data files, it will just remove the files here. So that's why here it is giving that error. So let us create the files. So for that you just need to specify this file name convert. Just a moment. Okay, now I believe we can't use file name convert as well. Okay, so the mistake we did is we dropped the pluggable database including the data files. So now it might not be possible. Let me see. Okay, so we did a mistake. Now let us try with another pluggable here. So again I am going back to ConDB1 and this time I will go with plugdb2. So I'm following the same steps again. First I will say alter pluggable database plugdb2 close, then alter pluggable database unplug into. I'm just creating one XML file here. Then I'm saying drop the pluggable database, but this time I'm not mentioning that including data files. So which means the data files can still be there. Now let me connect to the second container. Then let's check the compatibility. Then create the pluggable database. So this time it worked because we have not deleted the data files. So now you can see it is in mounted state. So as a final step, we need to open that pluggable database. So I have modified the things and I will upload the document once again. So I will share the steps once again with you. So that's how we are unplugging and plugging into another database. So anyone having questions? Okay, so the next topic that we have in is to in database archiving. So we have one more thing with respect to the pluggable database, that is performing a uh, data guard, like performing a standby database. So that anyway we are going to see about data guard. So that time I will show you. There is no much difference. Patching, upgrade, and data guard. So all these are the same steps what we perform in the for the regular database. So there are no extra steps we have for the pluggable or multi-tenant database. So the next one is in database archiving. So this is more related to the application team, or I mean to say, like it will be helpful for the people who develops the application. So because it talks more about the table level things what we need to do. So sometimes for application teams there will be a requirement to hide some of the rows from the visibility. Like even though the rows are present in the database, they should be able to delete. They should be able to delete those. I mean, they should be able to hide those rows. So usually we don't have an option to hide those rows earlier, and what application teams use it to do, they use it to use certain clauses, like they use it to add an extra column, and they use it to mark it as deleted is equals to yes or deleted equals to no in order to hide those rows. So 12c got introduced with a concept called database archiving or in database archiving. So which is going to have this activity in a very simple manner. So what here we are going to do is we are going to create one table by specifying something called row archival. Or if you have any existing table, that can also you can alter it and by just simply saying like this. Then we are going to insert some dummy data into it. So before going further, let us go ahead and create it. So I am doing this in this newly created pluggable database. So first I am creating one user here. So I'm creating one table space here because it is not existing. Then I have given unlimited quota. Or let me do this. So I need to again go with DNS names and all. So better I'll go with the regular database. So just to release the memory, I'm shutting down the existing databases. So I'm connecting to our regular database. So again, I'm creating the same user if it is not there. So now I'm connecting to that user by taking another session. So here I'm creating that table first. To go with the differentiation, I am going with the white color background. So first I have created the table. Then I am inserting some rows into this. So around 1000 rows here. Then if you normally see the count, so obviously it will be 1000 rows will be displayed. But as I said, out of this 1000 rows, if application team wants to hide some of the rows, then we will be performing an activity on something called some hidden column called aura underscore archive underscore state. So what is this aura archive state? As I said, it is a hidden column that Oracle introduced from 12c onwards, and by just updating this aura archive state column ID, automatically you can hide your rows, whatever the rows that you want to hide. So you can hide them with the help of this. So because this is a hidden column, here you can see there is no column ID specified for this. And when this column will be created only if the table is created as row archival, or if you alter the table as row archival. For regular tables, this will not be visible for you. So now what we are doing, we are updating this Aura archive state uh, so that we can hide the rows. Now the Aura archive state will have only two values. One is value 0, which means it is the rows cannot be hidden, like those are not hidden rows. And the other one is Aura archive state and the value is 1. So here what I am saying is between rows 751 and 1000 means 250 rows whatever we have. So for those 250 rows I have mentioned this Aura archive state as 1, which means from now onwards those rows are not visible to the end users. So after we issue that update command, normally if you query, you can see instead of showing 1000 rows, it is showing 750 rows only. But these 1000 rows are there? Yes, they are there. So the 250 rows, as I said, are in disable mode. So if you want to have those rows back, then you need to just say this. Oops. So now you can see the operations as well. So if you try to see the ID between 751 and 1000, you can see it is saying 0 rows updated because Oracle already treated that those 250 rows are not in the table. So we have a way that we can go ahead and see the content of that. I think I just forgot to mention that here. Just a moment. So we have a command by the name alter session set row archival visibility is equals to all. So once you do that, then automatically again you will be able to see the hidden rows as well. But because the rows are already hidden, so you cannot perform any DML operations as such, because in Oracle's view those things are deleted, those rows are deleted. So as I said, it's not a major topic for a DBA. From a developer point of view, it might be helpful for us. So next we have another feature in 12c which we call it as invisible columns. So the like when we will be using these invisible columns, in case you instead of dropping a particular column, you can have this column in invisible state, and you can able to query still, uh, even though the column is set as invisible, you can still query the things from the that particular column. But like regular one, if you see, after you make a column as invisible, it is not possible for you to see the content. Like when you say, when you describe the table, so it won't show you that particular column. But normal operations can be performed as it is, like DML operations and all. So here, there is example given. So we are creating a table with two columns. One is ID number, and the second one is description with varchar of 50. And while creating, I just mentioned this as invisible. You can also mark the existing table column as invisible with the help of alter command. So once you do this, if you describe the table here, you can see only one column is being shown for you. So let me show you that. So even though I have two columns while creating the table, because I declared the second column as invisible, whenever you describe or whenever you say select star from that particular table, it will show you only one particular column only. But still, as I said, you can perform the DML DDL operations as it is. But when you query, still it will show you only one column, and the second column will act as an invisible value. So if you want to exclusively see the things, then you need to give the column names as well. So otherwise, normally if you say select star from, it won't show you the invisible columns. So certain things that we have is, we have some concept called virtual columns, which I will show you later. So those virtual columns can be made as invisible. And also if you are using a partition table with the help of invisible column, so that is also possible. Then external, cluster or temporary tables. These three types of tables cannot have any invisible columns. And if you want to display, so normally if you are describing, as you are seeing, it is not showing directly the columns here. So if you just say this, it is showing only the first column. It is not showing the hidden column. So if you want to see the things like the columns which are invisible, then you need to just say this, set column invisible on, and then describe your table. You will get to know what are all the columns that are there as invisible. So as I said, at any moment of time, you can make that column visible with the help of this simple command. So again, this invisible column feature is also for the developers, and may not be for DBAs to work on this more. But whenever developers, or when you are working with developers and you got to know their requirement and you know about this feature, you can recommend them, because developers may not be able to know that such kind of feature is existing in 12c release, 12c version. So you can recommend to developers that we have such feature, and you can ask them to use that particular feature if that suits their requirement. So those are the things that we have for today. And Monday we are going to start with the data guard, and probably we'll be spending more time on that, understanding the theory and then no, we are going ahead with practicals, how to implement a data guard database, and then of course we have some real-time activities. So we'll be going ahead with them as well. So anyone having questions before we close the session? Okay, so let's meet on Monday then. Have a nice weekend and thanks everyone for joining.